Welcome to the Luton Ladies Lowdown. Today we've got a very special guest, Luton Town's number one. Welcome to the Luton Ladies pod, Sarah Hudson. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, no worries. We did, I believe, previously arrange that if you got the 1-0 clean sheet victory over Royston, we'd definitely get you on. And that is what we're going to be talking about very shortly. Let's take a look back at the game against Royston and any other news around the ladies team. Okay, football. So, onto the game on Sunday. Luton Ladies won a very important game against Royston at the Barton Ground. Luton gave Royston their first league defeat of the season, winning 1-0 with a spectacular goal from Amber Layton and a clean sheet held by yourself. How important was this game to the club and to the girls?
I think it was really important, but just to get back on track and kind of undo the first game of the season where we feel we were hard done by against them, obviously having 2 penalties in very quick succession given against us. And the third goal was a little dubious as well. So I think it was important to us, absolutely, just to get back on level pegging terms with them, really. We've got 2 games in hand, but should we win those, we're level on points with Royston. So, yeah, really important.
Yeah, definitely. It's reduced the deficit from 9 points to 6 points, obviously with the 2 games in hand, as you mentioned. So it's definitely the right step in the direction if we want to be winning the league, as
Absolutely.
we all want.
Absolutely.
So obviously the player of the match was Tanya Blackley. She had an absolute blinder of a performance in defence. What's it like kind of having a player like that in front of you, given that performance that she did on Sunday?
Yeah, she was an absolute monster on Sunday. You talk about defenders being bodies on the line, and she absolutely did all of that. There was hamstring tweaks and little bits of, and I just kept saying to her, "There's like 8 minutes left, 6 minutes left. Just carry on, just carry on, just carry on." And I think the last tackle she made right at the end, where she bodied that player in the box, just kind of wrapped up her whole performance, really. And for me, I just feel so safe with those girls in front of me. Obviously playing against them last year, them coming up for corners and stuff like that is always a little bit daunting, but to have them on my side this year is brilliant.
Yeah, you've definitely got some height with Tanya and Ellie, and then I think it was maybe 2 games ago you had Bridget trying to do a overhead goal.
Yeah, some sort of mad,
Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're I think as defenders, they are the best kind of defenders that you could have to keep the ball away from your net.
Insurance policy for me, anyway.
Yeah. So the goal obviously came from Amber Layton. It was I'm going to use some quotes from Owen, because Owen wrote up a nice article about this. So Shanice Lewis had a nice counter-attack, breaking free just after the halfway line. She carried the ball down the wing, flicked the ball into the net. Flicked the ball into the box, and then it was knocked on by Fensome to Layton, who put the ball in the back of the net with ease. Obviously, everyone exploded at that point.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
Including me at the other end. You don't see me on the camera, but I had a lot of Royston fans behind me who give me stick all the game, which I enjoy. But yeah, so I enjoyed turning around to them. But the goal was brilliant counter-attacking football. We'd been working on it all week at training, so to see it pulled off and executed like it was cherry on top, really.
Yeah, I did have a chat with Cheska, and she did say there was some very special training going on before this game. Obviously, I don't think it's unique to the Royston fixture, but I imagine it had a kind of a slight hint of, we want to get our own back on this.
Yeah, and we know how they play, having played them before, and obviously previous years for all of us, whether we're new to the club or not, we've played Royston quite a few times, so we knew how they were going to set up, or how we thought they were going to set up. So we've not changed our game, because we know our game is strong, but we know there's areas of the pitch that we need to cover differently and stuff like that. So that was what we worked on, really. And the counter-attacking is what we're good at. We've got a lot of pace up top, so we need to use it to our advantage, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, by the way, about training. So obviously you have very different training, I imagine, from everyone else. And obviously you're working with Leia and
Celine.
Yes, that's the one. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second. How does that training look like for you as a goalkeeper?
So we kind of do a warm up all together as a squad, and then we break off as goalkeepers. We have about half an hour, 40 minutes per session to do some specific stuff. Obviously, the feedback comes from the coaches in what we need to work on, and then the camaraderie between the goalies is great. And Danny, we have chats about what we want to work on personally as well, so that can come into play if we need to. But then we generally join the squad again later on in the session for the bigger game phase type stuff. So yeah, it's good. I mean, I think it's important for us to have our time away, because it's really easy to just stick a goalie in goal and then not really do much during training. And now we're getting to the winter months; it's very cold, and being an older player, it takes its toll on your body if you just stood in the cold. But no, it's good that we do our little bit and then we come back in together as a squad as well. So yeah, enjoying it.
Glad to hear that. I also have to talk about the tenacity of the team. I've not seen them play quite like that, because normally they've been many goals ahead, but it was incredible to kind of see Cheska and Gabs playing into the corners and stuff.
Yeah, I think we've spoke about game management. We've also spoke about being a bit too nice on the pitch. I think teams want to try and come and bully us a little bit, and we need to be able to counteract that. And you saw that Sunday, say there was tackles being thrown, bodies being thrown in, the girls keeping the ball in the corner at the end, just using their ability to run the clock down, really. And I think we need to get better at that, and take the pressure off at the back maybe a little bit. But the girls were fantastic Sunday. I can't praise them enough.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen such an explosion of joy after the final whistle as I did on Sunday, but I'm sure there'll be many more of those to come during the season.
So.
Yeah. So you're obviously a big part of the team. I was talking to one of my friends at the game on Sunday, and he was describing to me about when you played against us at Real Bedford, how he was so angry at how loud and how full of kind of just confidence as you are as a person. But then when you signed for us, he was so happy that you were signing for us. Obviously, you've taken over from Amy Butler, who has moved away from Luton, I think, to retire from football at this point. How's it been kind of filling those shoes and becoming the number one?
Yes, I've known Amy for years, to be fair, playing against her and stuff like that. And every year I spoke to her, she said she was retiring, and then she didn't. So I think for me, obviously, left Bedford in the summer. I was on the lookout for a club, or, not sure whether I was going to carry on or not. But I knew Faddy from before. Obviously, the Luton lot know me from playing against me over the years. So, yeah, I went down to the trial and here I am now. But in terms of filling shoes, there's been a lot of characters over the years, and I think I'm not here to take over or be this new big personality or anything. I'm just here to be me and help the team out.
You are definitely a big personality, though, so you're doing a good job. Obviously, last season you were with Real Bedford. Obviously, it must be good to kind of have some of those players that you've played with. Obviously, with last season, the winning season for Real Bedford, with you now, obviously like Tash and Cheska, etc.
Yeah, I mean, so I only joined Bedford last year, so I was only there one season, and obviously met the girls there. We had a really, really good bond. The team was so close. So for it all to go to pot a little bit at the end of the season was a shame. But it made the transition to Luton much easier for me, knowing that I knew the girls that were at Luton, but you never really have that. Like, we didn't know each other properly, but obviously with Tash and that coming over, then it makes the transition even easier. And it didn't really feel like I was at a new team, because there was kind of 4 or 5 of us at the time that had come over. So yeah, it was good.
Wicked. And obviously last season you won the Golden Glove with Real Bedford, and only 4 have gone in against you so far. Do you think it's on the cards again this season?
I hope so. I think I got 9 clean sheets last season in the league, and I think I'm at 5 or 6 now. So it's looking promising. But it's not just me; it's the girls in front. You know, there's 10 players in front of me, and they do all the hard work. I just stand at the back being mouthy. So
You also do save some goals. Like I know you got at
I've done a
least
couple of saves this year.
you got at least one in the last game. So yeah, you're pulling your weight. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Um, and then another moving on really quickly. So obviously, you've in your previous years of experience at football,
Mhm.
you've been with Cambridge City last season with Real Bedford, and you're with Peterborough, Northern Star. Could you just, in your own words, talk about kind of how you got into football, what your journey's been, and then why you joined Luton?
Yeah, so I mean, I started playing football really young. There's just me and my little, well, not so little brother. He's 31, but he's my younger brother. And I think I was kind of the little boy that my dad thought he would have with my brother. I was the one that did all the sports, football, squash, all those sorts of things. Kind of took on my dad's side of his personality. Started playing at 8 years old, just in the local team in Huntingdon. There was only one girls' team there, and it was an under 12 team. So I played from 8 all the way up to 12 in that same team. From there, moved to the only women's team at 15 in Huntingdon, and I played there for a year, and then moved to what is now Peterborough. Well, they've folded now, but what was Peterborough Northern Star, as an outfield player. So I was an outfield player. I've only played in goal. I say only. It's been about 10 years now. So I was a defender by trade. Moved to Peterborough and was there for 13 years. Before moving to Cambridge City when I was 30. And then at Cambridge for 3 years in the National League, and then moved to Bedford last season, and then to Luton this year.
Okay, awesome. Like a lot of other people, it seems to be brothers that get them into the football when they're trying to prove their point,
Yeah, my brother
etc.
was definitely not a footballer. He's the complete opposite to me. So I took all the sporting genes and he took all the academics. So
Cool. So moving on to kind of some more fun sort of style questions. Do you have any pre-match rituals? Are you superstitious at all?
I want to say no, but actually, because I've watched previous pods and you asked this question, I was thinking, do I actually do it? But and you're all going to notice it now is that when we start the game, I run into the goal. I always put my water bottle on the left hand side, and I always pour water on my gloves, and then I always open my vocals just as before the kickoff. But I don't know if it's a. I guess I do it every game, so it must be a ritual.
Yeah, it sounds like a pre-match ritual. Do you get nervous before games at all?
Not really. And I don't think I ever really have, even in like cup finals and stuff like that. I've never really got nervous. I don't know why. I probably should be nervous, but I just don't.
Been doing it too long.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you have a song or a playlist that gets you hyped up for the game?
We obviously have the Luton playlist that plays in the changing rooms, but the song that's kind of been the common theme at the minute is Backbone by Chasing Status. I think it's just a little bit of a hype song, and it started as a bit of a joke the other week, but we've played it every week, so I'll go with that one.
It also was the song that was added to your Instagram interview for the Luton Town Ladies
Oh, that's very
interview
true.
at the start. So it's been there
Very
for a
proud.
while now.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Yeah. And now we've got 5 very quick fire questions. Wine or prosecco?
Wine.
Disco or karaoke?
Disco.
Indian or Chinese?
Chinese.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I don't play any
No,
games. I'm
neither.
too old.
Okay,
I'm
no,
too old.
no worries. And then last one: making a save from a one-on-one or stopping a penalty.
We'll go with penalty because they seem to be a little bit more decisive.
Okay, cool. So thank you for that. And now on to any other news that has happened around the Luton Ladies. The 29th of November, there is going to be a charity quiz with Ellie Wade, the captain, as the quiz master. She's already pre-warned me that it's going to be a bit crazy. Not your standard quiz. And that's to raise money. Yeah, that's to raise money for Andy Dickens and Kira Palmero, both of whom obviously had ACL injuries during pre-season or before the pre-season.
Yeah.
So Good to see. Obviously, Kira was at the game on Sunday, just gone, and obviously Andy's kind of always around the club
Always around.
in some capacity or other. So the upcoming fixture, next game is going to be against Haringey Borough FC Women. That's going to be on 17th of November at 2 o'clock at Barton Rovers. The last fixture we played against them was our second game of the season. They're currently sixth in the league, having played 10 games. We won 4-1 against them. How do you see this game going?
With Haringey, it's always difficult because they seem to have a different squad every time you play them. So for me, I've played against Haringey now on and off for the past sort of 10 years, and they have a different squad every time they turn up. But we're confident, and we know that we're strong. So we go into every game with confidence, knowing that people need to come and match us rather than the other way around. I think we had a strange start. I flapped a little bit a free kick against them in the return fixture. But even from then, I didn't really feel under pressure. I knew that we would turn it around. So we just got to go and play our game, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
Obviously, second game of the season, everyone's probably still trying to find their feet at that point.
Yeah, we're new players and still learning to get to know each other and stuff like that. So I don't think you can judge too much on it. I think every game in this league's different. So you just have to go and play your game and make sure you maximum effort at the end of it. So,
and obviously the home advantage at Barton. So if you are around on Sunday, it is a international break, so you've got no excuses not to come down and see the ladies on Sunday at 2 o'clock at Barton. And then obviously it's definitely worth mentioning we are through to the second round. You are through to the second round of the FA Cup. And that is going to be against Stevenage. And that's going to be on the 24th at Hertfordshire FA, the county ground, 1 o'clock kickoff. How was it around the team kind of drawing a fixture against a team in the same league for this round?
Yeah, I think looking at the draw, so there's obviously it's kind of the round before the championship teams come in. I think it's probably the draw that we wanted, if I'm honest. There's a lot of tier 3 and 4 sides in the rounds now, so I think for us as a team, it's good that we've drawn a team that we know about. We know how to go into the game and hopefully progress to the next round. Like the girls did last year. They had a really, really good run last year. So I think for us, it's an ideal draw. Again, we don't take anything for granted. We go into each game as we would any league game. So yeah, it's important that we go into it with an open mind and just, as I've said before, just play our game, because we know that's successful. So we have to do that every week now until the end of the year.
Yeah, and boy, there's going to be a lot of games. Obviously, earlier in the season, we did play Stevenage at Barton, and we won 1-0. It was quite a tight game. They were very good defensively, I remember. So I think as long as we've got our game fit on, we should be absolutely fine.
Yeah,
looking
absolutely.
forward to that. Okay, cool. Well, that's the podcast. Anything that you would like to add at the end?
I don't think so. Just thank you to everyone that's been so far, and to you guys to listening to me on a Sunday bellow. I'm often heard before I'm seen, but I'm taking it as a good thing. So
definitely more than happy to hear you shouting. So a big thank you to Black Star and Carry On for making us sound great, and a shout out to the pod sponsor, the Record Shop in Amersham. They've got vinyl, CDs, guitars, and more. And if you mention the OK Football Show and you're nice, you may get a discount from them. Also, if you like this content, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you very much.